balance the whole vibrations, sending love and affinity and respect and peace to the world. And I want to welcome any viewer today to Well Versed and Reserved TV. For today is the commencement of this journey that we take together. And it's a significant day, June 1st, 2023. For today is the day that I paroled. I paroled from doing 6 years and 2 months in Oregon Departments of Corrections. I was incarcerated for a robbery shooting, and it was a grim, murky time of my life at that time, and I was lost as a youth, 21 years old, 22 years old, just running the streets and not really having a sense of rationality, functioning more of instinct and impulse, and really in a drug-induced frenzy. So, and I feel like it's relatable to a lot of youngsters and even people older my age that are stuck in that cycle, and they feel like they don't have an attachment to their mind, or they don't have attachment to their volition. And I feel like it's just a possession, that your whole life is driven on drugs and driven on being high and doing what it can to feel that possession, to feel that unconscious, instinctual, animalistic craving. And it's not fun, because the next step isn't really calculated. Even when you discern it as calculated, it's not. So today being the day that I parole, and while I was down and working on my vision in prison, I picked up a lot of books, read a lot of esoterics, read a lot of psychology, read a lot of quantum physics. I read a lot of Toni Morrison's literary fictions. I read a lot of fictions, imaginative fictions. I've read AI. I've read biology. I've read history, Black history, U.S. history. Like I've read a lot of books when I was down, and due to being in the hole and having to deal with that and do 180 days in the hole, 120 days, and all I had to keep me sane and give me a fortitude or strength of mind was to read. And however, from that and sitting back and working on my vision, accumulating that insight and that introspection, I came up with this. I came up with this idea to sit down and use this first day and call it Well Versed and Reserved. Because when I was reserved in prison, and when I was in the hole, and when I was on lockdowns, on mainline, everything like that, I reserved myself into knowledge. I reserved myself into creative thought. And I didn't have the luxury to do the college programming and the apprenticeships within prison because of politics and just kind of being a subject to a racist environment and having to play the whole please the master type thing. It just never really sat right with me. So what made me feel situated, what made me feel comfortable was not stopping my journey alone. And Frederick Douglass once said it is that the reason why the reason why white people don't want slaves or Black people to learn is because they don't want us to be stronger than them. They don't want us to be more educated than them, because it makes them inferior now. Because now we can do what they do times 10. Now we can do what they do and intricately systemize it and do it better. So that was my whole rooted motivation. And that's what this vision is. This vision is to think deeper, this podcast, this time that we spend, this journey that we're gonna have with Well Versed and Reserved is for us to think deeper, to question everything, to research, and not to push ideologies, not to argue or have any dogmatic type airs of ourselves. It's really just to question ourselves and to grow through knowledge and through love. And it's a blessing, like I said, just to be alive, to be here. And today it's a blessing that I'm here with you guys and being able to have this space, this time together. Although it's truly a blessing. And please pardon my introduction, but you can refer to me as Stephen. And I'm not the super professional. I'm not the educated on the wall, the certifications, and have all those merits behind me. But I can say one thing is that I've graduated from the University of Thought. I've graduated from the University of Meditation and Thinking and pulling these concepts out of the collective unconscious and seeing them synchronize within reality. Nevertheless, things of that nature is what really creates growth and creates connection within life, within existence. And it's truly a blessing. And I want to share that with those who resonate with me on this frequency, those who want to question their own ideologies, that want to question their own heart, and really what is their moral sense, and ask those, expanded, colloquial questions of what is energy? What is soul? What does it mean to be at peace? What does it mean to think outside the box and to have these conversations? And through time, I will have people who come on with me, and through time, I will have guest speakers that will sit down and have a mutual conversation of logic rather than emotion. And I would like to actually show a lot of shout out to Sam Harris and his podcast, and shout out to Savon Bomar and his podcast, Astral Quest and Understanding. Savon, I highly recommend his YouTube channels and to go subscribe to his, because he did a great deal of insight and encouragement before I went to prison. I used to listen to his podcast and I hear him talk about all type of esoterics, and it was just intriguing how he broke things down through etymology and studied the Kabbalahs and studied the Masonries and the Hindu texts and the Sanskrits and things like that, and made these correlations within these different spiritual teachings, and then related it to things that we're experiencing in life today. So I think that's a blessing to even be here and express that gratitude to Savon, man. Like, real talk, salute to him. And but yeah, so this welcome again, welcome to Well Versed and Reserved TV, man, and Synchronicity Studios LLC. And man, so today what I want to discuss is truth. And what does truth mean to you? What is truth? Is it merely honesty? Is truth telling something that's real, admission to something? What does it mean to be true? And so I feel like many people in the world, they may ask themselves this, and they have a sense of truth, of their truth, right? And I feel like one of the best descriptions is Plato's allegory of the cave, where the people who were enslaved in the cave, what they seen and experienced in the cave was their reality. But when they seen the shadows casted on the wall, And when they seen the light come from outside, they seen that there was something outside of their surroundings in that cave, and that their life wasn't just, their truth wasn't just what they were experiencing. That what they were outside of what they were experiencing, there was more truths. There was more to it that completed the mysterious puzzle of why. Why are we here? Why do we do this? And so I feel like that's something that we should really embody and take in. So we ask ourselves, is what we believe something that we can expand? Is what we believe something that limits our identity, limits ourselves as a person? Are we limiting ourselves within a ego, a sense of self of, well, I'm me, I'm Stefan, I have these glasses, I believe this, I believe these glasses work, I believe this shirt fits right, I believe these candles, I believe the alignment of these different teachings are truth. But beyond that, is there something that can complete this truth? So, and that's something that we can kind of be more conscious of, or ask ourselves of, is it really so? Is it really so that these glasses are great? Is it really so that this shirt fits? And it's when we ask ourselves these deeper questions and arouse that introspection, that is what expands our identity. And that is what potentially will grow ourselves. Is that if you believe in the same thing over and over, consciously and over, then we're not elevating to a higher version of ourselves. We're stuck in a limit. And to truly be limitless is to constantly grow and to expand. So, questioning that, let's go to psychology. So, it's believed in psychology that a lot of mental health is derived from people's lack of dedication to reality. People who aren't able to be real with themselves. They have neuroses where they make themselves the victim, or they have character disorders and personality disorders to where they are so self-consumed that they make everybody else miserable, that they're impossible to be around. It's just too difficult. So if these two, just duality within psychology is that these people are one or the other, and some way, somehow that these people, the neurotic person who takes the blame too much, doesn't see the reality that they're not the one to blame, or the personality disorder person who puts too much on the outside world, and they don't understand the truth that it's not their fault, it's not their responsibility, it's the responsibility within. So if truth and having that awareness, that consciousness of what is really in our credit, what is really in our responsibility to what it is to be stable, is to be balanced. So how do we find that balance in life to where that we're not too far in our personal truths, and that to where we overcompensate or we undercompensate? What is it that creates that balance? And for me, is what I feel that what creates that balance, me personally, is being more aware of learning yourself and being more in the know of your own tendencies, having a partner, having somebody who can call you on those things that are unconscious to you. Because some of the things that we do, we don't see for ourselves because we're stuck in that truth. So if you do have people who can see and be honest with you and say, hey, look, like, you know, you're a little bit too neurotic. You take too much credit. It's not your fault. Or, hey, man, this is your fault. You shouldn't really put the blame. And being open to having that constructive criticism. So receptiveness is the balance. And being receptive, not only to others, but to yourself. And I feel like that is what brings truth and expands your identity to where that you're not stuck in these mental confinements, right? So, so it's very heartening to know that us as humans have the ability to be conscious of that, to be conscious of expanding our awareness. And I feel like it's really liberating to do so, especially me personally coming from incarceration and knowing that I don't have access to what I want to do and the people I want to love. And, you know, I'm in a shell. I'm in this body, I'm in a shell, and I'm in a shell of a building. But to realize that my imagination, the power of mind, the power of imagination, the power of intuition was omnipresent, it was omniscient. It was so much, it was so vast. And it's just that I had to escape from that belief to have that. And I feel like it brought a lot of synchronization of truth just simply by having that respect, having that connection to that self-awareness. And for others, how they activate that self-awareness, they may do it through sobriety, they may do it through chanting, they may do it through prayer, they may do it through all of that. I feel like those are all vehicles to bring you closer to truth, bring you closer to spirituality, which is purpose. You finding a purpose to this enigma of life that we're in. So, and it doesn't matter religion, creed, culture, ideology, whatever it is what brings you that purpose, what brings you that self-awareness to where that you're able to cue in to the truth of what you are truly responsible of, and what you can truly separate yourself from responsibility and identity. Because at the end of the day, we are connected. That is a universal truth, is that we are all one. Everything goes from quantum physics to Hinduism, to everything, to Holy Spirit, is that we are all connected through this ever omnipresent stream, this field of soul, of life. But there is a separation because we are material, that we have to create this balance between something that's omnipresent and something that is temporary, and find that middle ground so that we're able to be sane. Because if you fall too far on the spectrum of, oh, I'm infinite, you psych yourself. If you fall yourself too far on, oh, well, I'm temporary, you'll psych yourself. Become depressed, right? It's either become depressed or megalomaniac, of feeling like God, right? So that's why I picked up the term from Savant Bamar, balance and whole vibrations, because that's the energy that we want to give. That's the energy we want to emanate to the world, is balanced and whole vibrations. And really just being poised, just being relaxed, stepping back, being mindful, right? So, and I feel like that is truth. Truth is being able to see both sides. Truth is being able to be open-minded and not being stuck in your own ideologies, and taking responsibility for what truly is yours. So, when it comes to staying true, I feel that people who stay true, they stay true through the qualities of love, faith, patience, joy, long-suffering, kindness, altruism, balance, like all those qualities. That's what it means to stay true. That's what it means to stay down, to keep, to have your grounding in life. That's truth. And we can ask ourselves every day, what is truth? What is truth? And that is a start. That is a start to expanding it. Is this really so? Is this true? Is this that? And it's crazy how that question is demonized in the Bible. And I'm not criticizing, I'm not shaming the Bible, although asking those type of questions is what creates, is what energizes our growth. So I feel like it's truly something that we should cherish to the fullest. And yeah, and for sure it's something that is great. And man, this is truly a blessing, man. It's surreal to really experience this with y'all. But yeah, I'll take a minute and let us soak that in. So, as far as well-versed and reserved, we have a lot of good. We have a lot of good that will come. And we have different topics to discuss and different theories to go over. Today is just me, just solo. I think about by episode 3 and 4, I'll have other people through Zoom or present with me that'll sit down and have conversations and expand on topics to where we can think a little bit deeper together and ask the question why, and seek truth, seek expansion and awareness. So I really hope that we all can connect on a like-minded, peaceful, loving basis and bond together and ask simple questions. And I'm gonna open up my email if anybody wanna have personal chats. We can have personal chats. Any questions, topic ideas, you can message or comment, anything. So yeah, for sure we can definitely elevate our minds, because that's what it's all about. That's what life is about. It's growth. And realizing that we're temporary flesh, but we're eternal energy. And the more that we express love and the more that we express consciousness and knowledge, those are things that we take forever. Those are parts of our higher self and our unconscious and that intuition that we have that guides us and tells us what we know, that we already know, that travels with us. It's ever long. And that's something that we should really value. So, man, this is truly like joyful though. But yeah, so much love, y'all, and I'm gonna wind it down here. I'm gonna cut it short. Yeah, once again, it's really a blessing to share this day with y'all. June 1st, 2023, the day of transformation, the day of rebirth for me and for those listening. It's just time for us to rebirth into something, and just thinking mentally, just something new. Take that breath and exhale and just be in the moment and see and believe a better version of ourselves and ask those questions that build that better version. So it's truly nice. But I'm gonna try and do this show, I'll say every week, every 4 or 5 days. I'm gonna post a video, and we'll expand from there, y'all. Everybody stay safe, stay blessed, and stay expanded. I'll tune into y'all in a minute, all right? One love.